Hey there guys, it's Carly. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my plans to complete a low buy during the year of 2020, including what a low buy is, how it's different from a no buy, and the low buy rules I'm going to follow to make sure that this year is a successful year. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into it. First up, low buy, no buy, what is the difference? Should you do one, and why the heck am I doing one? Number one, I have attempted a no buy before. I decided that for 6 months I was not going to buy anything other than grocery shopping and like paying bills and stuff like that. And I didn't even get to the 6-month mark. I managed to make 5 months. And then what I did was I went and spent a heap of money and bought a heap of stuff. So essentially a no buy is where you designate a period of time, and other than things on your own created approved shopping list, you do not buy anything. I particularly didn't find the no buy successful for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't think that I did it for long enough. I aimed for 6 months, I only got to 5. I really feel that in order to create those new sort of like pathways in my brain and those new habits, you kind of need to do it for longer, so that just the process of not buying things and not even wanting things just becomes like such a part of your thought pattern that, you know, by the time you end it, you're not going out and spending a whole heap of money. So I think one, I didn't do it for long enough, and two, I feel like no buys as opposed to low buys are actually quite restrictive. So because I was denying myself from buying anything, I felt like I was somehow missing out, which in itself is crazy, but that's just the way that we've been wired these days in this sort of consumerist driven world. So I felt like I was missing out, so that once my designated period was done, I kind of went crazy and I made up for lost time of sorts. How I'm doing things differently this time around is that I'm going to be doing a low buy as opposed to a no buy. So rather than the focus being on not buying anything, the focus will be upon creating a more sustainable lifestyle. And even though I'm saying that I'm doing this for the year of 2022, I really do want to make this more of a habit and more of a lifestyle, so that I'm not necessarily having that start and finish date and that specific time period like I did previously. And I'm hoping that, you know, not having that specific time period and making it longer and making it less restrictive will help me to be more successful in this low buy challenge. So why am I doing a low buy? Do I have some sort of shopping addiction or spending addiction? The answer is no. I am not doing it for those reasons whatsoever. I'm doing it for environmental and sustainability reasons. I want to be more conscious of my impact on the world, and I feel incredibly frustrated because I feel like the society that we live in that puts so much focus on success and actually working so hard and having no time to yourself really makes it difficult to make sustainable choices. But I've decided that even if things are going to be challenging, I want to try and make better choices and try and go against that status quo that the world really wants us to subscribe to. So that's the first reason. The second reason is I'm hoping to be able to build a house this year, and that's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time. And while I do have savings set aside for that process, I feel like the longer I take to save, the more prices of everything are going up and I'm just getting squashed out of the market, and it's making me really quite upset about that. So I'm going to like absolutely knuckle down on the savings front and committing to a low buy and being conscious of where I'm spending my money, not even just spending it on stuff, but just spending it on takeout, going out and doing things that I'm just sort of throwing it around because, you know, YOLO and I can, being really super intentional about my spending so that I can squirrel away as much money as I can and make this dream of owning my own home finally come into fruition. And my final reason for doing a low buy kind of relates to that second reason. Obviously, Dave and I are living in a very small home at the moment with practically zero storage, but if we are going to build our own home, we would likely have to move in with my parents or his parents once we start the build, because that will mean that our loan will increase and it's just not financially viable to be renting and paying a loan on a house at the same time. So that will mean that all of the stuff that I own in this house will need to be somehow condensed to one bedroom and a small space in my parents' garage. And while we probably will be giving away a lot of things that we don't intend on taking to our next place, I kind of need to start going through things now and really decluttering and really minimizing and contributing to more stuff by buying more and then having to somehow store it in my parents' house. It just doesn't really seem like a smart move. So what I'm gonna do to help myself be successful in this low buy year is set myself some parameters. I don't use the word rules because I feel like that might be too restrictive, and I wasn't successful last time when I was restrictive. So my parameters for this low buy year. Number one, I will not be buying it if I do not want to have to find a way to store it for 8 months at my parents' house. If I'm sort of a bit iffy about whether I can do that or whether I can be bothered doing that, I am not buying it. Number two, I am not going to be buying anything that I cannot walk into a store and purchase. I feel like buying online is super convenient, definitely. I have been buying up a storm on Amazon, stockpiling a whole heap of books. I've been loving books lately. But in buying online, I'm not supporting local businesses. And I know that a lot of local businesses have really suffered because of COVID and lockdowns and things like that. I just feel like my own conscience, I can't really justify directing my money towards big businesses and buying online if it is readily available for me to go purchase at a store in like a nearby location. So that's rule number two. Number three, and this one is sadly becoming harder and harder to achieve, but I want to be able to spend my money on Australian businesses and preferably things that are made in Australia. I know that we are sending a lot of our shipments offshore, overseas to make things, and that's really sad. I would really like to see more things owned and made in Australia. That's just the sad reality of our economy. But if I can support Australian businesses and support things being created in Australia, I am definitely going to do so. And number four, obviously, if it is a want rather than a need, I really need to question whether I should be buying it at all. And especially I need to be asking those questions. Do I already have it? Do I have something like it? Can I borrow it from one of my sisters? Or can I maybe reuse or adapt or repair something that I already own? So when I'm going to, consider purchasing something, asking all of those questions before I buy something will help me contribute to that successful low buy year. So what I'm hoping to do during the course of this year is do a monthly check-in video where I can keep myself accountable and bring you guys along in this journey, sharing how much I've saved during that month, what I've spent my money on during that month, and any sort of product empties, things that I've used up, because I really do want to minimize and curate particularly my beauty skincare routine. So I'll be sharing my empties as well as anything that I am choosing to part ways with will be shared as well. So if you want to see those things, make sure that you subscribe down below. And if you are going to be with me on this low buy or no buy year, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. With that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.